What is the price to pay for simply wearing dreadlocks? Across Africa, many Rastafarians are being discriminated against for being exactly that, Rastafarians with dreadlocks. Even gaining access to their right to education is a major challenge. Recently in Ghana, some Rastafarian kids were refused admission into a school just because of their hair. But the families are prepared to fight this through the court of law.
Terry Magai has been a reggae musician for over 3 decades now. In this abandoned track in Ghana's capital Accra, he rehearses with his triplet children. But behind the melody they produce is a story of rejection and discrimination because of their hair and faith as Rastafarians.
Like for instance, you sit in a trotro on a bus to town and everybody comes and there's no place, and nobody, you have wide place and space, and nobody wants to sit beside you. So they will fill up all the places before, in the end, they will look like, and then they come to sit there.
That's not all. Magai's son, Tyrone, was recently refused admission into a school because of his dreadlocks, and it breaks his heart.
We're all Ghanaians, with the total rights and equal rights to be in educational institutions and stuff. So I found it rather difficult to accept that because of my hairs, just because of my hairs, I had to be rejected, even though I perfectly qualify.
Just like Tyrion, Ohiniba Inkrabia is not in school because of his dreadlocks. His father, Razwad, is disappointed at the constant rejection families like his face in Ghana.
So to come to your home and in Africa and see wherein they are using old colonial rules and guidelines to oppress their own people and to discriminate of their own people, it is even worse than being over there in the West among the white men, because this is your own people.
Ohinibe's parents are now looking for a new school for him as an alternative. There are over 10,000 practicing Rastafarians in Ghana. Keeping their hair is an important aspect of their faith, but with that comes constant stereotyping as criminals. Ghana's laws allow for freedom of religion, but the Rastafarian faith is not yet officially recognized. Human rights activists want a court verdict to stop the discrimination. Many Ghanaians equally believe that Rastafarians deserve acceptance.
Having a Rasta doesn't actually mean that the person is bad, you understand? And then you can cite examples. We have Rastafarians who have impacted.
Then we have Christians, we have Muslims, we have different sorts of people. So Rastafarians are also a group of people that have their own distinct identification.
Magai and his family aren't giving up yet. They still dream of total acceptance in society one day.
The family has taken this to court. Our Ghana reporter Isaac Kaledzi tells us where arguments stand.
Behind me is the Achimota School. It is a school that has denied some students of the Rastafarian faith admission because of their dreadlocks. The school insists that the students have to take off the dreadlocks before they are allowed in. That is in compliance with this code of ethics. But the lawyers of the students have gone to court seeking redress. They argue that the rights of the students have been violated. The court case is being closely followed by Ghanaians as they hope to see how it all ends, especially because the issue is a topical one in the country.
So what do you think about this? We took our camera to the streets and asked learners how their schools are dealing with dreadlocks and how they feel about that.
No, like if they want to wear, I don't find it like wrong to people wear like certain hair. It's fine. Like there's no reason for them to not wear the hair. Like it's fine.
For me, I have experienced it because one of the schools that I've applied for, I wasn't able to go to it because they told me that I had to cut off my dreadlocks, which I had to go to another school, which I didn't apply for.
No, as a matter of fact, we made a protest about it
last year, and so they had to stop what they're doing because we involved the government also. Yeah, so our teacher there at school was suspended because of that.
They don't allow it in our school because it's not good at all. The government does not allow it.
Because those with natural dreadlock, they will allow them, but artificial, they won't allow that.
In my school, natural dreadlock is allowed, but you have to work up on it. But for artificial dreadlock, it is not allowed because you have no reason to have it on your head. But if it's been allowed and being approved in our school, I would love it because it's one of the hairstyles I love most to have.
Joining me now is Chikondi Chijozi, lawyer, criminal justice cluster lead at Southern Africa Litigation Center in Blantyre, Malawi. Hello, Chikondi. Can it be argued as a violation of human rights to not be enrolled in a school just because of wearing dreadlocks?
Absolutely, it is a violation of human rights. It is discrimination based on religion because there will be no any other reason why a person should be denied access to education because of their dreadlocks. That is clear discrimination.
But on the other hand, why should it be a problem if a school says these are our rules and you should abide by them if you want to enroll with us?
Yeah, the rules that have to be set by schools, they have to conform to the Constitution, to the Bill of Rights, and ensure that they do not actually negate the whole right to education. In the example of cases in Malawi, these are government schools, and these are children that cannot afford to go to private schools. So if government comes with a policy that essentially negates the right to education, then that is contrary to the Constitution and total discrimination.
So this is, there's been similar cases previously. Courts in Kenya, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Malawi have all ruled in favor of Rastafarians. Tell us more about what the winning arguments were and also what the opposition also argued.
Okay, in terms of Malawi, the opposition did not have much to say because the decision not to allow children was based on a policy that is not even there on paper. It has always been talked about as a practice, but then there's no law that actually mandates the Ministry of Education to come up with that policy. So the winning argument was the policy is baseless under law because there's no law mandating the Ministry of Education to come up with such a policy. And on top of that is the issue of equality and equal access to education for all. So those are the main compelling reasons that the court agreed that the children should actually be allowed to enroll in government schools.
Back in the days when I was in senior high school, I wasn't allowed to grow my beard or else I'll be sacked or punished. Was that a violation against my rights?
Yeah, it is if you're doing that for religious purposes, unless you're just doing it to piss the school off. But if that's for your religious beliefs, the school should be able to accept diversity in religion and accommodate every person according to their religious beliefs.
So are we then basically saying that if anyone goes to a school and says, hey, say I belong to the Rastafarian religion or my religion allows me to look this way, is that then the school should then just allow you to be there because you say it's your religion and that's allowed?
Yeah, the school should be able to allow you. Of course, there are reasons why schools want children to look smart and stuff like that. That can be done by probably encouraging the children to ensure that they keep their dreadlocks smart, their beard smart, but it shouldn't be the basis in which a child is not allowed to enter or to be admitted into school.
Okay.
That would be total discrimination, yeah. Okay,
well, quick one before you go. What if it's not an official religion recognized in the country, say in the case of Ghana?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that still counts because in terms of the right to religion, you have to accept and understand that there's diversity in religion, and it doesn't mean that only those that are recognized religious beliefs are the ones that have to be accepted, but you have to show that indeed you have this religious belief that allows you not to do certain things. I'm not saying that people can just come up with strange ideas and say, okay, this is a religious belief. But if it's something you have a basis in your religion, whatever religion you have, even if it's not recognized by others, I think there shouldn't be a basis for discrimination.
Okay. Chikondi Chijozi, lawyer, criminal justice cluster lead at Southern Africa Litigation Center. Thank you for your time.